Today we're going to talk about 15 upcoming games that will be made in the new next-gen game-making toolset or engine known as Unreal Engine 5. Now, we haven't actually seen them yet. NCSoft, a pretty big publisher with a decent track record, but this seems a little bit different for them. This is kind of a narrative-driven, movie-like adventure, similar to something like a Heavy Rain, Quantic Dream, Detroit Become Human style game. From what we've seen, it looks to have decisions and quick-time events, and your decisions and actions will actually change the shape of the story and the ending. Now, from what we really know so far, all we got to really go on is it's like a revenge quest after a man loses a loved one, like a girlfriend or a wife or something. Sounds pretty basic, yeah, sure, but there's got to be more to it. There's got to be a reason that they're telling this story with these crazy video game graphics. My money is on the voice actors and the performance capture because the characters look incredibly lifelike, so if they can really sell the emotion in this story, I'm all in. It doesn't have a release date yet, but it is looking really gorgeous. I mean, look at it. They did show us quite a bit, including what seemed to be real-time gameplay. Now, this is interesting because it takes place after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, where Sora is in a new world called the Quadratum, and it's kind of like a lifelike, more realistic-looking city. So with that, they have to play Sora in a real-looking world, and it has to look damn good, and it had to have a game engine to really back it up, so it seems like Unreal Engine 5 is really powering these massive, lifelike cities, and I say massive because just the small glimpses we've seen and the large boss enemy and Sora flying into the world seems like it's going to be a pretty dense and detailed world. Interestingly enough, with Kingdom Hearts 4, more than any other game on this list, like, I'm not really looking for realistic graphics, I'm just looking for fun gameplay and cool Kingdom Hearts stuff, so hopefully, seemingly we're still going to get that, but at the very least, baseline, and we don't know too much about it yet, at least we know it's going to be pretty. Of an independent project, it's been in the works for quite some time now, and they've been teasing it with a lot of very brief glimpses of gameplay, some of it looking a little wonky, but the more we see it, the more it's shaping up to be pretty interesting. It even made an appearance at the Games Radar Game Showcase, and it's straight up a horror first-person shooter that looks really good, and the coolest part is the monsters themselves. They seem incredibly detailed, like hyper-grotesque, with tons of gross, drippy bits and tendrils coming from every inch of them, kind of like a cross between the Birkin monster from Resident Evil 2 and something out of the classic The Thing movie, but like turned up to 11. So that right there is pretty awesome, considering they look this visually scary and freaky thanks to the graphics. I just really hope that it has the gameplay chops to back it up, but so far the more and more we see of it, like I said, it does look better and better. Adventure-style game with a story focus that's a little bit different in style. It's more of a chunkier space sci-fi, it's a little more old school, and that really makes it appealing. Along with that, it does seem like it's taking advantage of Unreal Engine's new lighting stuff and photogrammetry, with the desert, planet-like environments that we have seen looking incredibly real. The rock faces, the sand, all of it looks stunning. Pair that down to the tiniest details on the player character's hands and detailed, cool sci-fi equipment, it seems like it's going to be a bit of a different experience. The Invincible is seemingly focused around a deep, like, legitimate sci-fi story, and I mean, you play as an astrobiologist. You don't play as, like, a badass space marine or anything. So it's definitely got the graphical things going for it, but it also seems like it has the story and gameplay ambitions to back it up. You know that it's a sort of combo collection slash updated version of the original 2 Layers of Fear games in one package, and now completely in Unreal Engine 5, which is pretty sweet because Layers of Fear is really underrated. It's not the most action-packed horror game or anything, but it is certainly a hell of an experience. So for them to redo it in Unreal Engine 5 and hopefully add some new content, it can be really enticing. Those games already really did rely on great art direction and cool graphics, so for them to step it up, I think that's pretty exciting. We know Layers of Fears, which I'm still getting used to saying, is coming sometime early 2023. 4-player, multiplayer, cooperative narrative shooter where you're taking down hordes of vampires that have invaded a small New England town. Most importantly, for me as a solo gamer, you'll also be able to play this completely solo, but playing with friends means everybody has different abilities and you can take advantage and just basically do cool arcane Deathloop Dishonored style tricks, shots, and cool moves. Really curious to see where this one goes, and graphically it does look pretty damn great. The art style is a bit more cartoonish, so on the surface it's a little trickier to see like the real graphical fidelity because things intentionally don't look hyper realistic, but still, from what we've seen visually, it does look really impressive. I'm still curious to see how this one's actually going to play and how fun it's going to be, but it does look cool from a design standpoint. And hopefully we'll finally be playing that pretty soon. For quite a while. This is the super ambitious MMORPG that's like a combination of The Last of Us and Days Gone, but also The Division, with open world city stuff, fighting, looting, PvE, PvP, zombies, customization, and incredibly killer graphics. Now, that's a lot to promise, and it seems like it's coming from a small developer, and they've since really delayed the game pretty heavily, so we don't know what's up, but what we initially saw of this game did excite us. Even if it was a small slice and it's still got a ways to go, if it can come out like what we've seen visually and with all those promised gameplay features, it could be sick. We'll probably be talking about the day before soon. You know, we still have some skepticism, but yeah, there you go. To be completely frank, we don't know too much about it, other than it's going to be pretty. We got a brief teaser trailer that showed some cool ideas that gave us some slight Control vibes, and it's seemingly going to tell a pretty mature story. Like I said, we don't know too much, so I'll just read the official game's description. Amidst a secluded country ravaged by civil war, discover the secrets of your past and confront the mysterious calamity that has befallen the region. A real adventure awaits you where you will explore the dark side of human nature. Well, I guess from reading the game's description, it turns out hell was us all along. I'm sorry, terrible joke, but all we know right now is that it is coming to PS5 in 2023. Announced again, and we still don't know too much other than it's going to be Unreal Engine 5 and Vin Diesel is in it. Not only is he in it, but he's also apparently working behind the scenes with the production crew and is going to be fairly involved with the game. You know, celebrities are going to celebrity, but ultimately this seems like it's going to be a bigger, better arc, and hopefully a prettier and less glitchy, weird, messed up one. Or really, to be honest, sometimes that weird, goofy jankiness is all the fun with Arc, right? As of right now, we know Arc 2 is coming in 2023. Sometime now, we're hoping we finally see it at the end of 2022 or sometime in 2023, because this Chinese-developed action-adventure RPG based specifically around ancient Chinese mythology looks pretty sweet. Obviously, you've probably heard it before, it seems very Souls-inspired, but the unique twist on lore and just some of the combat actions and boss battles we have seen have been pretty nuts. And also, shout out to the developers for just showing straight-up gameplay and not really wasting our time with too many cinematic trailers, because seeing the game in motion in Unreal Engine 5 is incredibly impressive. I mean, look at this thing. Again, at this point, I don't know what more I can really say other than that the detail, especially when the character moves in the snow or the water, the way wind rushes and moves things in the environment, to just how fast and frenetic the combat is with sparks flying and not things slowing down. We really hope this game looks as good as it seems here when it finally drops. PS5 game billed as a cosmic horror FPS TPS. There's some seemingly cool story elements to the game, but essentially a quantum research facility is attacked, it's on fire, and you go in as a firefighter, and your job is to just save as many lives from the burning lab as possible and just get out. Then, of course, things devolve into chaos, and it gets spooky and weird and sci-fi. That's really it, and while on the surface it sounds a little bit generic, I think the firefighter spin is actually pretty cool and unique. The visual style also isn't quite what you'd expect. It's got a bit of a flat kind of artistic style to it. They're not going for hyper real, but still seemingly are taking advantage of the Unreal Engine with cool lighting and fire. But to be honest, we don't know too much about it. It just seems like a really, really cool idea. As of right now, we just know it's coming soon to the PS5. one more, but thankfully, this one looks pretty damn good, at least graphically. This is billed as a prehistoric action-adventure game with combat and exploration in multiple environments, but it's from a first-person perspective, and you have guns. So yes, it's you chasing down velociraptors in the jungle with an assault rifle, fighting saber-toothed tigers, big dinosaurs. The concept seems really simple and maybe goofy to some, but also just good, dumb fun. And from what we've seen, graphically, from water areas to dense jungle areas, both during the day and at night, it seems pretty cool. The environments are incredibly, downright shockingly richly detailed. Along with that, just really detailed dinosaurs that can be outright terrifying. I wish this one had a release date. As of right now, it's just slated as TBA, but it looks damn cool. Just because it looks so weird and unique. It seems like it takes a lot of cues from something like Silent Hill, and it also just embraces a lot of horror movies with little nods here and there. But visually, from an art direction standpoint, at times it can look downright stunning. Other times it can look not so great and really, really rough and seemingly made by one person. So this one is still really up in the air, but from some of those good glimpses that actually look really damn good, you'll see snippets of it here. We see some potential. Now, it was last shown off at a Games Radar game reveal live stream thing in 2021 as part of a larger event, but we haven't really seen anything since, but we're keeping our eye out on it. Fans have been waiting for something for forever, and they're gonna have to wait a little bit longer with this one, but from what we've seen, it looks downright incredible. Exploring a post-apocalyptic landscape with this Eastern European spin definitely seems right up our alley, and it certainly was with the old games, which were incredibly unique, just genre-defining PC gaming moments. I don't know if this new game has the potential to literally change everything in gaming, at least for some players, but it does look like it's going to be a hell of a cool adventure with some incredible visuals. We've seen all kinds of different scenes. They've been showing off the work they've specifically been doing in Unreal Engine 5 since the work commenced on this game, and we've been really, really excited. Hopefully, we finally get to play it real soon. The last time we got to see this game, it looked downright incredible. When it was first announced, it was one of the big things to really tout the power of the Xbox Series X and just next generation technology, but really Unreal Engine 5 as well. And the most recent gameplay trailer that we got that showed large enemy types, massive action, chaos, just full gameplay, it seems absolutely nuts. From the detailed lighting and character faces to the performances of characters themselves, of course, which was a highlight of the last game, to the rain, the mud, the fire, everything in this gameplay demo is firing on all cylinders. They knew exactly what they were doing. They were flexing on us with this one. If you played the first game, you know that game was more story and emotion focused, and now it's finally got, hopefully, some gameplay and graphics stuff to really back it up. Because, the first game's combat was pretty cool, but hopefully they really blow it out here. Either way, it looks absolutely stunning, and we can't wait to hear more about it soon, because it still doesn't have a release date. But take your time, guys. We'll wait. So those are 15 Unreal Engine 5 games that we think look pretty cool, and we hope we see soon. That's really it. We just wanted to talk about some cool games today. So we want to know from you guys in the comments what you're thinking. If you got your own top 5 or one specific